To determine how much liquid you will need when making polenta, it is important to think about the final consistency you desire. Depending on the brand and how the cornmeal was ground, the results can vary. If you are unsure of how much liquid to use, one option is to start by using a 3-to-1 ratio of liquid to cornmeal. As the polenta cooks, you can simply add more hot liquid to thin it out. Once you become familiar with a particular brand, you will automatically know the ratio needed to create a particular consistency, so keep track of how much you are adding. Generally, for stiff polenta, a ratio of 1 part cornmeal to 3 or 4 parts liquid is used. This ratio will actually set and become quite firm, which is desirable for certain dishes. For softer polenta, 1 part cornmeal to 6, 7, or even 8 parts liquid can be used. This polenta was cooked using a 6-to-1 ratio, and you can see how loose and porridge-like it is. Basically, you will need to experiment with the grind and brand that you buy to find the consistency that you prefer most. The liquid used to make polenta can be as simple as water. However, stock, broth, or milk can also be used. You can even use these in combination with water. Just keep in mind that you don't want to mask or overpower the flavor of the corn. You are just trying to enhance and bring out its natural flavor. Much like pasta, a more neutral flavored polenta is used to balance out highly flavored ragouts, meats, and other dishes. No matter what liquid you decide to use, the most important thing is to make sure it is well seasoned, so the salt can penetrate the starch granules as they cook. Ideally, about 1 teaspoon of kosher salt per cup of cornmeal is a good starting point. For even more flavor, any of these liquids can be infused with herbs and aromatics. These can simply be thrown in whole and removed once the polenta is cooked. These ingredients will infuse the liquid much like a tea and lend flavor to the cornmeal as it cooks. Note: before the liquid and cornmeal components are combined, many different types of aromatics such as onions and/or garlic can also be cooked in advance to lend even more flavor to the polenta. Lastly, to calculate how much polenta you will need to make, measure out about 1/4 cup of cornmeal per person.